Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the Core Ultra series of processors. And the reason I'm going to be talking about these is that they're very powerful processors made, and they're very small and compact. And the Core Ultra processors are made by Intel, obviously by their name Core being in them, and they were first launched in December 2023, and these new processors took on a new different naming system than all the other processors that Intel has made. The new line of the Ultra processors consists of the Core Ultra 3, 5, 7, and 9, and they're all different, and there's all different versions of them as well. And I'll get into the worst and the best one later. They had to refresh them recently, in January 2024, because of the CPU overheating issues with the Core Ultra processors, as well as the destabilization of the 14th and 13th gen Core i9 and i7 chips made by Intel. But now the Core Ultra series chips are fine, unlike the other ones, unlike the desktop versions of their processors. The highest end Core Ultra processor that you can get is the Core Ultra 9 195H. And this thing is pretty powerful for being a mobile chip and being inside laptops. With it having a turbo boost up to 5.2 gigahertz, which is insanely fast, and 36 megabytes of L3 cache, making it pretty good for gaming and anything else that you really need to do. And it has 24 cores and 32 threads in those cores, which is very powerful as well. And it has the new Iris Xe integrated graphics made by Intel that is for only the core processing chips. This chip can handle up to 64 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM, and it can support 2 terabytes of M.2 PCIe NVMe SSDs. And this chip is also mainly made and specifically made for AI workloads and AI learning as well. And the lowest end on this spectrum of the new Core Ultra processing chips is still very powerful for being a mobile chip, and I'm going to talk about it real quick. It has a max clock speed of 4.5 gigahertz, which is pretty insane. Even though it's the worst one, it's still very powerful. It has 18 megabytes of L3 cache, making it pretty good for gaming and other things, like I said with the last one, just not as good. This one only has 12 cores and 16 threads, which is still pretty good, and it's viable today, making it good for multitasking. Has the same integrated graphics with the Iris Xe one, but this one can only support 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X, which is not as good as the max one, but obviously it's not going to be as good because it is the lowest end of all these chips. And it can also handle 2 terabytes of SSD storage. As well as these chips being pretty fast, they have a new system called the Intel Smart Cache, which basically makes them have a larger cache pool for all the cores, as well as reduced latency and dynamic allocation. So if any of the cores are under a lot of stress or need a lot more demand from the cache, it can focus all the cache onto that core or on those multiple cores. But that's all I have. Bye.